Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Go to testing, ready, 3.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was sound check. My sound guy.
Can you say check, check?
Check. Okay. Tonight is in check. Okay.
Welcome to On the Lamb podcast, Christmas edition. Shall we carol first?
I was just going to say that. I'm like, we should break into song somehow. Okay, show me your Christmas shirt.
Woo! Santa and his reindeer.
It's funny in how not planned out that was.
Yeah.
Like you were already wearing your shirt, and then I just came back from the dollar store and got this one actually for my husband for his Christmas pajamas, because the one I had gotten previously from Giant Tiger was weird. Maybe I'll show it. I'll show it if I might get him to try them both on just to see which one actually fits. But yeah, the other one was weird, but it was picked over. Anyways.
The other one was supposed to be sexy Santa. It's not.
I think it's supposed to be like an elf though. Like I think it's because it got like the little vest open. Anyways, I gotta take a picture.
I also recently saw, maybe other people have seen it as well, a post on Instagram. I think it was Instagram, of this like, pole dancer, a male pole dancer.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that he was specifically like a stripper. I think he was just like, because he was really skilled at what he was doing, but he was wearing like an elf suit with no shirt on. And I was like, elves are just not sexy, like he just can't put on Santa or an elf suit and do it like sexy it up. It just don't.
No, because it's the same as like people trying to do sexy Santas. I'm like,
no,
it's a children's thing. Like you can't take a thing that's meant for kids and make it sexy, because to me it just feels a little inappropriate. Like,
yeah, no.
By a little I mean a lot inappropriate.
So next time, don't do the sexy Santa.
I had no choices. Anyways, it was that.
No, I don't mean you. I mean like people that do that. Like,
don't create the shirt.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm NalediS.
I'm Timu.
We're real life sisters in Southern Ontario.
I'm
like
Southern Central.
Yeah, Southern Central. I'm kind of almost
Ontario, Canada, not Ontario, other places in the world.
Not Ontario anywhere else, just Ontario, Canada.
The best Ontario.
The best Ontario.
I haven't been to any of the other ones, but I'm just going to vote ours the best.
Right.
Because I'm here and you're here. Scuffy's there.
Right.
And this is mostly a knitting, apparently slightly Christmassy, lots of rambling kind of podcast.
The last few weeks has been a lot of Christmas talk.
It's true.
But I really love
Christmas knit along. You made me Christmassy.
I feel like, knitting, I'm sure knitting helps, because like, especially this year, I mean, I wasn't into it last year, like into knitting last year, so I don't know, but there's been just like so many new, like Arn and Carlos doing their Christmas ball special and stuff like that, like being able to watch Arn do a whole ball in one spot, and like Christy Glass has done like a video with like her anthropology ornament and stuff. So I'm like, how would you not, even if you don't love Christmas, like just get into and you made an amazing little Santa.
I totally realized this morning that I forgot to take a picture, so I'll have to do that when I'm back there on Saturday before New Year. So not this weekend, but next weekend.
Yeah.
To take a picture and post it.
Yeah.
So sorry, backing up a little bit. I feel like Christmas it's like for makers, any like specific holiday like that or big holiday like that so many people celebrate, it's a good excuse to like make things that you might not make at other times a year, or make more things, because like you might knit for gifts, you might knit for decorations, you might knit for charity. Like it's just like another excuse. Whereas I feel like lots of other times of year, it's not like everybody coming together at once to make all the things, like birthdays are a great excuse to make, but like not everybody's making for my birthday. Like, it's just me or whatever, so it's like just that one time.
Yeah, getting to see everyone's
holidays and not just Christmas. There's just so many holidays in general, all celebrated around this time of year that make it just like a perfect making holiday. You know, like my kids yesterday brought home all their crafts from school, and like both of them had made like so many things, and it's just like there's just so many things that you can make at this time of year, like whether it's winter themed or holiday themed or whatever. Like yeah, and you actually like pull them out, you know, like we were talking about special ornaments. Actually, maybe over Christmas, over the holidays, because we're not going to podcast next Wednesday. We usually film on Wednesdays. We're not going to do one next Wednesday because it falls like right in between Christmas and New Year's. My kids will be home. It just won't work.
Right.
But maybe
I was like, what? I was like, what? What do you mean we're not going to?
We literally just had this conversation.
No, because we said that we were going to do one on New Year's, but I thought we were going to do an extra one.
Oh, we are going to try and do something on Wednesday?
No,
not. We could do like a super short, just like, what's your holiday whips or something. I just don't know. I just won't last very long here without a ton of.
It might be like if it doesn't work, then we just don't ever air it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we could do it really short, maybe it'll be like a lightning round. Like it'll be like this, goodbye.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? We have all hour and a half podcasts and then one that's like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It'll be like,
it doesn't go together. Oh well.
Yeah.
Other people might be like, oh, finally, I'm gonna have to listen to all.
But maybe then we can also include like a little video of like our trees or something. Like I want to show like a little tour of my Christmas tree, because one, we've emphasized how small it is. Get over it. Two, it's like it's a maker Christmas tree, and it's like it just got more makery because the kids brought home ornaments yesterday, and I was like, oh, it's like a hand. It's my little handmade.
Oh, I was like, yeah, I did, because I made something. You're like, the
kids made something. The kids made something. I kind of have a plan. I might add something else that I make to the tree. Again, I went to the dollar store, so I'll talk about that in a minute. My oldest pointed out that we had no star on the tree because it's so small. I was like, you'll find a star that small. So he made us a star. It was the sweetest thing. He made us a star out of Lego. It doesn't look like a star at all. It kind of looks like a yellow robot, or like an H with extra points. Or
with a red thing in the middle.
Yeah, I don't know. But it was so cute.
It was awesome.
We kind of like hooked it to the top. So it couldn't sit right on the top because it's like we have an exceptionally long point on the top of the tree, so we couldn't like sit on top without knocking it over, so we kind of like jammed it on there. But yeah, anyway,
okay. Let's do
put
this.
my knit back on though.
Yeah, I know. I also need some extra warmth. Hold on a ticky boo.
Lord.
Sorry, reindeer.
Mrs. Christmas over here.
What?
I said Mrs. Christmas.
Except that Clark saw it on me. Like, everyone else in my house thinks it's hilarious. Like, oh, Mom's a giant elf. And I got my candy cane somewhere in my belt. Yeah, everyone else thinks it's hilarious. Clark was stalking me, crying for me to take it off. Yeah. I don't like it, Mom. Take it off. Take it off, Mom. It's like, it's hilarious.
He doesn't understand.
Anyway, like, next time you see me, it will be off, but I'm gonna wear it for now. Anyway, okay. So what are you wearing? I'm wearing Giant Tiger. Is this American as well? Like, or is it just? I think it's just Canadian, isn't it? Giant Tiger.
Honestly, don't know.
I'm sorry, you're all missing out on our wonderful.
Yeah, Giant Tiger's one of those stores that I didn't get it for a long time, and now I totally get it. And I don't go there so often, but it's like the dollar store plus.
Yeah.
They just have like certain things, like clothes, that like I wouldn't buy all my clothes there, but like on occasion you stumble in and you just find like a gem that you're like,
yeah,
Giant Tiger. And it's always like so cheap. Like, and I totally, someday I will learn how to sew, and I will make my own leggings, and I will make my own like athletic wear and staples for my wardrobe and things like that. I'm sorry, small children in sweatshops, but sometimes like it's just easier to just buy that $14 shirt. It's like I feel guilty, but I'm also like I just want to buy this shirt.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm moving towards a more handmade wardrobe, but until then, Giant Tiger. So I'm wearing my Moon Spots Cowlette.
Nice.
So I stayed up maybe too late last night.
I saw that.
Too late last night to get it done. I want to take it off for a second. It's still a little bit damp because the worsted weight. I had it blocking, but I put it on the mat at 2 a.m. and had it like in my usual blocking spot, which is kind of like in my office. There's a vent that's actually like up on the wall. So like the warm air can kind of like go over the knit. And then I usually have like a little fan pointed at it, but it's like, it was totally dry on the top layer and damp on the bottom layer. I was like, I'm not sure there's a solution to that. Anyways.
Have the bobbles like softened and
yeah, for the most part. I found like the odd one in the bottom section because there's one more row of bobbles down here that I think I just messed up the bobble because it's looking kind of funky, but yeah, they did. It didn't like bloom like crazy, and I think it is because, so this is Akara Yarns. She's Canadian as well, and it's her GOTS certified organic merino worsted. So it didn't bloom like crazy, like, so it stayed kind of ropey. I can't remember what that kind of like twist is called, but it stayed pretty sturdy, which doesn't bother me at all. But for the bobbles, like maybe if it softened a little bit more, that'd be better. But I think with wear too, it will calm down a little.
right.
Yeah. And I wasn't super aggressive about my blocking because I already knew that like the neck area, so this is like the opening at the top and then it goes down like that. I knew that the neck area would probably stretch out. So I was trying to be really gentle with how I block it to make sure that I don't overstretch it, because I didn't want it to be like a little bit bigger than I was hoping it would be, but it'll still be good. You know, once you put on like a coat or something, it'll smush it up. And for wearing around the house,
yeah, nice.
I think definitely like spring/fall, when you have those chilly days where you're like, you know, you could do the long sleeve shirt and a cowl. It'll totally be another one that I can put into my rotation with my tilted cowl. So this is the Non-Mystery Knit Along by Sweater Freak Knits. So I love that it goes down to like, there's my belly button.
Yeah.
It goes down to here. She did have the pattern written with fringe. As I just bound off last night, I was like, I'm not going to bother staying up even later to try and get the fringe on. I'm just not sure I'm a fringe kind of girl. I mean, I feel like I could literally add the fringe anytime I want. I definitely have the yarn left over. I haven't weighed how much yarn I have left over or weighed this to see how much.
You'd have to see it. Like, do you have a picture of what the fringe looks like?
She has a picture on her feed. She had one posted with the fringe, like her original picture, and she reposted a picture from one of her testers without the fringe, because I was already thinking I might not add the fringe. And when I saw the picture, I was like, yeah, okay, it looks okay without the fringe. It's not like it needs it to finish it, or you have some weird edging that like needs to be covered up. But it's one of those things, like I've made a couple of cowls for other people, or a couple of knit items for other people with fringe.
Oh, no.
And when I try it on with the fringe, I feel like, oh, okay, I could kind of understand. Yeah. And when I see it on someone else, I'm like, some people, it suits them, that fringe. I'm just not sure I'm that person. Like right now, I'm liking it without the fringe.
Yeah, I like it without. I could also see it for, like you said, for the right person.
Yeah.
But I think I like that if it's a shawl and you're like wrapping it and you don't always see all of it. But if it's a cowl, it's like a lion mane or something.
Like it's going to always be for you.
Yeah, totally visible.
There's a shawl that I think I'm going to put on my Make 9. Well, I'm like 99% sure. 99% sure. It'll go on my Make 9. Called the Saturate shawl. So it's done like a fade kind of style, big ginormous crescent shawl, and it has like a crazy fringe at the bottom. Like it's very
look at that
dense fringe, and that's one that I'm like, because it's so big, when you wrap it around, the fringe is going to be like at your waist, not at your chest or like at your, you know, it's not. I feel like it's just far enough away from me that I won't feel like, ooh, weird fringe. Nothing against fringe in general. I just like
no, but everyone has to have their preferences, right? And that's why there's like, it's awesome how many Oshpins there are.
Goodness,
we're a good combo today. I was just reminded though when I went on my phone again to look on Ravelry that I was just on YouTube before the call, and because it's like giveaway season. Did you see the new Stitch a Day And I wanted to say this in the podcast so that anyone can hopefully see this before Christmas Day. I think it's like, oh no, it's 4 days left. So we may or may not have this out in time, but hopefully we'll have it out in time that you can join the News to Today giveaway. Because the one lucky winner would win 52 skeins of yarn.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
From their brand?
Free yarn for a year. I think it's their brand. Oh, he said it on, but you know what? I'm just not great with all the brands and names of people.
Argyle Sheep, I think, is their brand. Doesn't
Go on, because I was going to say I want you to go on, Tamu, specifically because if you like sign up through the like click the link and you're signing up, whatever, you can get a free hat pattern at $6 value. That's for anybody that signs up. Every single person that signs up for the giveaway gets this free hat pattern. I got the knit version of it. I want you to sign up and get the crochet version of it. And then we could share it. Maybe I shouldn't have admitted that right now. Because technically that's not okay, but yeah, I want to make hats for the boys, but I don't yet know. I would rather have crochet or knit for them anyway.
Yeah.
Anyhow, whatever. I'll look at it later. I was gonna look at the saturate shawl. I'll look at it later. I think I did look at it actually when you had like.
I remember who it's by, but I can't remember.
No.
But there's some really beautiful ones. Even go on Instagram and like look at the hashtag because there's so many beautiful ones.
Are there?
I mean, the original color palette was very pretty, but they're like definitely some gorgeous shawls out there. Yeah, I'm glad this is off my needles because I'm trying to free up brain space by getting whips done.
Right.
So I can move on to some other things that I want to do. Like, I feel like I can't make my Make 9 because I'm just too, like, there's too many projects all over the place. And I'm like, I can't, if I put together my Make 9, I'm going to want to start on my Make 9. And it's like, I need to get other whips done, even though my Make 9's in the back of my head. But
to actually like make the list and like see all the pictures. Yeah. That's for me. I've never had cast on NalediS until I did my Make 9 list. And I was like, I could power through and like have my entire list done before 2018 even starts. I feel like.
And that's the thing, yeah, it's like there's some things that I have everything ready to go. I could literally cast them on at any moment. And if I do, it's like, yeah, I'm going to be drowning in whips and hating my life. Because certain ones, like especially with some of mine are sweaters, and I'm not a very experienced sweater knitter. I don't consider myself a very experienced sweater knitter, that I'm afraid if I cast on and then cast on too many other things, I'm going to put it down. And when I go to pick it back up, I'm going to be like, I don't even know what this is anymore. You know, I feel like there's just going to be certain sections where I have to really pay attention to what's going on. So I kind of want to be
focused on them.
Blinders on. Okay, so one of my whips, I'm trying to do.
Actually, do you have any other FOs? No.
Actually, I do, but I'll
be like show our socks totally done.
Sure. Well, we posted a picture. We both posted a picture. Didn't we show them last week? Was I done? Oh, okay. Well, do you have yours on?
I guess you had one done, so yeah, I'm wearing mine, of course.
I was too.
Haven't really taken them off since the party on Monday.
I have, because there's been a couple of days where the floor in my house has been ridiculously cold, and I'm like, they're too thin. My foot is still cold.
Yeah, both mine were done, but I mean,
throw out the sock blockers. I gave Naledi one of my sock blockers because I don't actually use them to block socks. I use them the odd time for pictures. So I was like, yeah, take one of these and you could use it for pictures.
I am going to, and this is going to be the first sock that I take pictures of on the sock blocker.
But this is what we could use them for too on the podcast.
Oh, that's what you're trying to say.
Show them.
I brought up my laundry basket full of yarn from Tamu's house.
I love that your whole stash fits into one laundry basket. Like I haven't had a one container stash in maybe ever years.
Actually, yeah, because I've worn it. It's like it's not even gonna stay on the sock block all the way. To wash my socks.
It looks sad now. Like it's not. You know, once it's on your foot, it looks fine. But like it looks a little like, oh, stop wearing me.
Right. Anyway, yeah, sock pucker.
Cute.
Yeah.
All right. And I guess, no, we had talked about it last pod. What?
Someone's outside my door, but I think it might be Jason.
We talked about it last podcast. I was going to say we should go over like what we did with our individual socks, because we basically both started with a vanilla sock, but we talked about it last podcast. So go back in time, find episode 6, and you can see what we each did to our socks to personalize them.
Yeah, we went through the whole thing last week.
Yeah. So it's there. No need to do that again. Okay, so I'm going to do you have any other FOs? Because my FO directly leads into one of my whips.
I have a would-be FO. This would have been an FO. This is really fast. I don't need to talk about them very long. My blueberry waffle socks would have been done had I not run out of yarn. I got no yarn left, and I'm halfway through the toe. So sad. I will honestly imagine with that ball of yarn, especially because how much was left after Jason's hat, I totally expected there to be like, you know, a good-sized ball left. I was like, maybe I'll do something for Ada with the rest of it, but no, there's nothing left. So
my guess is your gauge, because I think your gauge is like you use different size needles for that one than your other one, right?
Then my other one, what?
Sorry, you used smaller needles for your blueberry waffle socks than you did for Jason's hat.
No.
3.75. Weird.
Oh no, wait, what was his hat? Maybe it was 4.5. Maybe that's what it was.
So I was going to say, your socks seem tighter than his hat did.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. And there's also like all the ribbiness makes it bubbly and yeah.
Well, I was just thinking like why it would have used so much yarn just for one pair of worsted.
I mean, I'm glad that it's using all the yarn, and then I'm going to go to your house and steal something to do something for the toes instead. But yeah, I just wasn't expecting it. I would otherwise I wouldn't have done as long. Obviously, I wouldn't have done as long for the leg, and I would have planned out a bit better.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're nice because they're really high and they're really long and really squishy. And the only other thing I need to say about it is if anyone wants to make, because I was doing the blueberry waffle pattern, which the original pattern is a DK weight, and this yarn is worsted weight. So I obviously had to like bring the size, the stitch count down. And then I did the entire heel is a rye sock heel by Tin Can Knits. So the rest of it, like the actual stitches, pattern stitch.
Pattern from the blueberry waffle, but the numbers from the rye sock.
All the numbers are from the rye sock. Yeah. So
that's how you hack a pattern.
And that's how you hack a pattern. So thank you both. Thank you to both of you. I think it was Sandy Turner does the blueberry waffle, and then, oh no,
Emily and someone
from Tin Can Knits.
So.
And I still want to make, I really want to make the rye sock in a mustard. So that will happen in 2018.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is like one of the things I had said about, you know, when you're switching yarns in a project is like, go on Ravelry, because people who are really, let's say, fastidious Ravelry users, when they put in their project, will put in like all their details on, you know, how they maybe tweaked a pattern or hacked a pattern to make it work for the yarn they wanted to use. So like, you know, I would encourage you when you go put in more to like, because you can now Ravelry lets you like, I used this pattern and this pattern, like it'll let you put in more than like link to more than one pattern, and then you can put in notes on like how you used each pattern. So somebody else who wants to make worsted weight blueberry waffle socks or wants to use the rye numbers but jazz it up or whatever, they can find your details and be like, oh, thanks, that makes it so I don't have to sit here and go, what am I going to do about this? Like, you know, I just like, that's what I love about Ravelry is like all that you can have all those details and they can just make planning a project a little bit less stressful.
Yeah, Ravelry is amazing. I mean, I've had a Ravelry account. I think it says, it's cool. It says for you, like, I think it's been since like 2010. I've had a Ravelry account, but I've only just started like really using it now and like starting to understand, oh, holy cow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And this is my first official gusset heel flop and gusset.
Nice.
which means kind of little because there's even variations of how to do the heel flap and gusset. But anyway,
I mean, they all basically have similar principles, like how it works. I like a heel flap and gusset in terms of the look. I just find, like in a worsted weight or something.
I think, yeah, a worsted weight.
To knit in a fingering weight, I just find picking up the stitches is like, I hate it so much. But
and for this kind of yarn, this worked perfectly for this variegation.
Yeah.
But I think for me, if it was like, I'm really particular if it's like a self-striping yarn.
Yeah.
How it all goes, like, yeah, I wouldn't like it anyway.
Yeah, it wouldn't be my favorite for, it's like kind of like the Fleagle, like it wouldn't be my favorite for self-striping because it would do those bigger chunks of color, but
yeah,
for a variegated or a solid, I like a heel.
or solid.
It's like the first one that I learned too, so it just always makes me feel like it's a bit kind of traditional feeling of for a heel option. I'm cold off some short sleeves. Okay, so my FO, I think besides this, it's the only FO I have because I spent like a night, maybe like a night/afternoon.
Yeah.
These.
Nice.
I forgot another paper clip.
Awesome.
Missing.
Oh, wait. That's supposed to be the apple. But
so I think, which one did I do first?
No, wait. The red one was supposed to be an apple. But where's the green on it? Okay, you haven't put the leaf on yet. I
did it, but I just haven't done it. And I went off pattern for the leaf because I started working the leaf that she had in her instructions, and I was just not totally sold on it. It was kind of like lacy and garter stitch at the same time, and it was like seeming very holy. So I found another pattern on Ravelry that was free.
That's cute.
Kind of happy with it. Anyway, so I haven't attached that yet, but so apple. Isn't that so cute?
Yeah.
Pencil, in case that's not obvious. Because when I showed Steve from this angle, he was like, not a boob, relax.
Yeah.
Pencil and paper.
Nice.
And same thing, when I showed him this, he's like, that's very nice, stripey ornament. Like, take this. And he's like, oh, it's a piece of paper. So yeah, I'm going to be a good parent and do teacher gifts for this year. And I was saying how, because each of my boys have 2 teachers. I wasn't sure how long these were going to take, but they actually go quite fast. I would say approximately 2-ish hours with the odd break and interruption to get the whole thing knitted, because all of these were all, like each one was one little mini skein. So I don't have to stop and change colors. Knitting and follow.
Nice. Dyers are amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
These I specifically think, especially these 2, these are like Amanda's totally original creation. And I just think like, I would never have thought of this on my own. Like, you know, you just see an idea that someone else had and you're like, that is brilliant. And I never would have come up with that. No less be able to figure out how to dye it.
Yes.
So it started with socks.
Yeah.
Makes like a self-striping.
Number 2 pencil sock.
Yeah, number 2 pencil sock. And you can buy the kit, the yarn from her. And I think that in the kit, part of it is mini skeins, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. And then she came out with stationary socks. So I have the kit to make this as socks. So one's the pencil and one's the paper, which I think is like the most hilarious thing ever. And I can't wait to knit them, and I keep forgetting to cast them on and get distracted by other things, but I think that they're going to be up very soon. So when you do the paper one, it is self-striping like this. And I just think like, what a cool idea.
Yeah.
And then obviously the apple, variegated, like just a tonal red, and then the little bit of green. And I have a little bit left over. So when I started the pencil one, she said to use 2.25, and I was like, I'm going to use 2.5 because I'm a rebel. And as I was knitting it, I was like, yeah, okay, I could see why you need the 2.25, and I would have probably used a little bit more of the yarn or all the yarn if I had followed the instructions. Other thing that I didn't do correctly, so anybody else who has ordered the kit, pay minimal attention to the color of the balls. So it came with a red ball, a silver ball, and a gold ball. Logically, you would put the red ball in the red ornament, and then the gold ball, and then the silver ball. For some reason, I decided to do this one first, but the red ball was on top. So when I went to put it in, I put it in, totally didn't think about what color it was until I had just finished sewing it up. And I was like, wait a minute, why did I put the red ball in here? So dumb. And so I don't think it takes anything away from it. If you look closely, you can see a little bit of a red glow, but it was just more like principle of matter. That said, because I went down to the 2.25 for these two, you really can't. Like you can see it if you turn it a little bit, but almost just makes it look kind of sparkly.
Right. For that one,
like
it would
a little bit of silver showing through, but you know, small details. I'm not always a detail-oriented person. Anyways, so I had actually ordered 2 kits. One came. The other one I'm still waiting for. I've already spoken to Amanda. It was just like a mix-up that both didn't make it into my package. And I'm assuming just because of like holiday shipping stuff that maybe that's why the other one's a little bit delayed. Because she said she did send it out for me. So I'm kind of like, you know, it's inching. There's like 3 days left of school. So today, Thursday, and Friday. And I'm like I need one more ball because the kit comes with 3 and there's 4 teachers between the 2 classes. So I was like, hey, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then I was like, ooh, genius. So I went to the dollar store, got like 3 same size plastic balls for $1.25 or something like that. And then I was like, okay, what am I going to knit over top of it that kind of like either is Christmassy or fits with the theme? So I decided to go Christmassy because I'll have more than enough of this is Cascade Heritage Prints in their Christmas colorway. I don't know. It's called Holidays with a Z. So it'll knit up like this when it's in socks. I don't know if that's really easy to see. But obviously, I'm assuming the strips will be a bit wider when they're on the ball. But I thought, well, at least that kind of works, right? Like, you got the school theme and then a holiday one and whatever. So
that ball will go with what's the other one?
I don't know.
An apple? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe with the apple.
They're both reddish, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it really matters all of that.
No.
But I feel like the paper and the pencil, like, if they open them together, it's funny because, like, you see them together and then you're like, oh. But, I mean, they're not, unless the teachers live together and I don't know it, they're not going to the same house anyway, so I'm like, it won't really matter. And then, because we were talking about holiday crafting and how you got to, like, knit all the things, I was at the dollar store anyways, so I decided to grab these because this made me think of, like, wouldn't this be, like, a really fun way to use up some self-striping sock leftovers? Just to make, like, a little ball garland that I can hang, like, either in my office or, like...
Oh, not on the tree. Yes.
Hmm?
Yeah, no, I like that because I was thinking, I want to keep doing more balls, but I'm like, I don't want my whole tree filled with, like, crazy color balls, so...
No, but, like, wouldn't these
garland
be cute? And then, like, use the because I have, like, leftovers from self-striping socks that are, like, they're, like, too much to throw out, but not enough for a whole pair of socks for me without, like, a lot of extra yarn. And at some point I was like, oh, maybe I'll use them for, like, heels, toes, and cuffs. But I'm like, this would be so much more fun.
That'd be a fun way for you to, like, decorate for Christmas, too, so you're not, like, doing everything red and white and green.
Well, this would be the kind of thing that, like, they're just, like, little, like, instead of making little socks, like, they're just, like, little sock balls that you could leave up. Like, I could leave these up in my office all year round.
Yes, you will.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you typically do.
See, that buddy was by my front door for the whole year. I bought one of those little vinyl, what are they called? Pop something? I don't know, whatever. Those little, like, vinyl figurines with the big eyes. I should go get them. I bought the Buddy the Elf one maybe 2 years ago. And actually the first year we had him, he was downstairs in the basement and I forgot to even put him out. So last year I remembered to put him out and then he stayed by the front door because I have, like, a little oval mirror right by the front door that has a little shelf that comes out from it. So Buddy and this little Grinch sign that we have, it's just, like, gray with, like, white vinyl, probably used, like, one of those Cricut cutter things to cut the thing out. Yeah, the 2 of them stayed by my front door all year long. You're like, Buddy, I don't know. I like Buddy. I don't mind looking at him all year.
It's funny too because like to your when you're sitting at the table, it's over your left shoulder. If you look up like on your top shelf, you've got that Christmas tree out there too. The gold.
Oh yeah, it's like because it's so up high, I see it, but I don't see it. You know?
Yeah, I know. I always look at it
on that shelf that my eyes don't even see anymore. Anyways, so this is my FO/whip is the Christmas balls.
And I'm pretty sure, are there not always Christmas decorations if you look like right beside to the left of your sliding back doors where there's like baby pictures and stuff? To the left.
Oh yeah, the one I left on purpose because it's ceramic and it has, I think it's Reese's like handprint on it. So it's like a white ceramic Christmas ball with a red handprint, and then the teacher like wrote a little poem-y kind of thing. And I'm so afraid it's gonna get broken, or that the paint's gonna get scratched off because they didn't put anything on it to like seal it. So when it's like kid handprint stuff, I always like.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what holiday it is. Like Miles's turkey hand thing was up by the front door for so long. It was like his handprint, and then the teacher cut out his face and put it on the thumb. So it was like, this is like the body of the turkey and the feathers, and then his face was right here. And Miles takes the funniest pictures. Like if you're like, hey Miles, smile, he either does like toddler smile, like, or he goes, and that one was like the big open mouth smile. So like the turkey and then his face, I was like, I can't put it away. I just need to see this every day because it makes me smile. So yeah.
Either way, you always have
decoration there, and
either way, the non-Christmas person always has Christmas decorations out. Okay, keep going. What is your whip then?
Well, one, I'm working on that last ball because I got it done, and then I'm still working on my shawl.
Okay, gotta pause. I have a visitor.
So I'm still finishing up my shawl. I am on the last section. And if it wasn't for the fact that I was like, I'm going to get this done so I can wear it on the podcast, I possibly could have maybe gotten this done. Although there's still a lot of stitches on here. So it's like,
it's beautiful. You can actually see the texture of it now and like the softness of it now. Oh, it's just beautiful.
I'm at this part joining this up. So it's like basically knitting this like back and forth and decreasing on half the stitches, like half, not decreasing half the stitches, but decreasing only on like half.
One side.
Yeah, go back and forth. It's like on one side, but it's also like you decrease on this side, then you decrease on this side, like as you work, like you only ever decrease on the knit side. So it's like half the stitches are knits and half the stitches are purls. Okay. Where I said it's like fully reversible. So like this is, all knit and this is all purl. Right. It'll look the same on the inside, obviously. So you can just, you don't have to think about which way to wear it. You just kind of throw it on. Anyways, so the more I knit, it's like, it's not the most exciting phase, of the whole project because it's like a fairly long row. Thankfully, it gets shorter by 2 stitches every time I flip it. But it's like the light is at the end of the tunnel now, and I'm just like, power through. You can do it. I really want to wear it. Just want to move in here, move into Divergent Series town, and retire here for the rest of my life. the more too that I knit with this Tannis Fiber Arts, these 2 colorways, the more I keep. What?
You want to sign up for their like special thing? No, go ahead. I just insert
the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I either sign up for the club or at least like the more I keep thinking like, Boxing Day update. I'm in there like swimwear. Well, and this is the problem.
Swimwear?
In there like swimwear.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like, you're planning to make.
Yeah, I'm going to buy Tannis Fiber Arts yarn and make a bathing suit collection for myself. And then I can wear knits all year round. Nobody wants to see me in a knit bathing suit. There are several parts of my body that need a little bit more support than I feel that a knitted item could provide when it's that close to.
Should right now insert the picture of me in my knitted.
It was so cute on you, though.
It was because I was young.
Yeah.
Didn't yet have 3 children.
That was part of kids. Everything
3
was
children. My breasts still held themselves up, and the bathing suit was just like laying on top of them, you know?
just coverage. It was coverage rather than support.
That's all I needed.
Yeah, but I've always needed a little more support from knitwear.
You've always had breasts.
That said, I have owned that. I want to say it's Ashley Page, but I'm not totally sure on that. I'll look it up and put it at the bottom of the screen. I've owned this book by Ashley Page. She had a TV show for a very brief period of time. She was a knitwear designer who designed a lot of hand knit or like machine knit bathing suits. That's where that bathing suit top pattern came from, I'm pretty sure. So in the book, there's other things like swimwear cover-ups, like big slouchy sweaters and stuff like that. But I was like, that was like one of the first knitting-based TV shows that I really got into. Like I saw the odd episode of Vicky Howell's previous knitting TV show. There was another girl. What was the show called? I want to say the show was called So Crafty, and she occasionally touched on yarn crafts, but it was a lot of like just general crafting and making. Right. And then this show came on, and it was like, I think it was on TLC. It was very reality show based, like kind of showing the behind the scenes of how her business worked, because she would design them, and then she had somebody, like a man who was a machine knitter, so he would actually like make up the items. But then like the chaos of like how we all, you know, how a lot of creative business owners feel, the creative process is the easy part. The running a business is the hard part. So you could see like really the behind the scenes of like how chaotic it was for her and stuff. Anyways, so after seeing this show, I was like, I need that book. Even though I think I made 2 things out of the book. What I did start to make a bathing suit top for myself, and I got pretty close to being done actually. It was like a bandeau, a crocheted bandeau, this like very open kind of butterfly type pattern. And then you're supposed to line it with bathing suit fabric.
Okay.
But at the time that I made it, I probably could do a better job now. The crocheted part was easy. The lining it was the hard part, because I'm not a great hand sewer. I really am not a good machine sewer. I definitely can't sew stretchy fabrics very well. So it was like, I had it almost all the way to the end. And then I was like, it sat in a bag for a long time, and I don't even know what happened to it now. I got rid of it or something. But anyways, I still have the book. I still look at it every once in a while longingly. Someday I'll make something out of there. Anyways.
The tennis fiber update. Is it, been trying to like not look at the details because I don't want to have it in my brain, but now I have to know. Is it speckles? I can't remember what it is now. It's going to be an Etsy update?
Yeah, I think it's an Etsy update. I think it's going to be
like they're pre-dyeing.
She's been teasing out. Yeah, it'll be like totally ready to ship. She's been teasing out things like, so Epiphany, the one color in this, it looked a little different on the skein that she posted on Instagram compared to what it looked like what mine looks like, but it's called the same thing, so I'm assuming it's a lot of the same colors. So yeah, she said Epiphany is going to be in there. I saw on Instagram yesterday or the day before. I think she also, she showed socks that she made in Mona Lisa, which is the other colorway I'm using.
Warm Mona Lisa.
Yeah, she called it slightly, so I think something happened. It was like slightly different from.
Yeah, you could tell it was, yeah.
Yeah, it looked a little bit
more
less
yellowy.
More yellow, yeah.
Yeah. So beautiful. Oh man. So what I'm going to do is I'll just wait till like the end of the day on Boxing Day. I will still go on, and I will pray that there's nothing left. Because if there's something,
there will be nothing left.
I hope not.
They mention it so early.
Yeah. They
tease it out for like days and days. And then because everybody knows this is ready to ship. So it's like, what's there is there. And once it's gone, it's gone. It's like, if you're not in the first 30 minutes, expect that whatever's left is like, maybe stuff you want. Not that there's anything wrong with what's left, but it'll just be like colorways that maybe aren't as like obvious how you would use them, or certain weights that like maybe aren't as hot. Like, so in other updates, it's like, I tried not to go in the first 30 minutes because I know I'm just going to impulse buy too much stuff.
Right.
And as soon as I've done hitting purchase, I'm going to be like, I didn't need half of that stuff. So I try to like wait till the first 30 minutes is done and then kind of see, what else is there.
Right.
Or mull around for a while, like put things in my cart and then wait a few minutes before I check out and see what's still in my cart. Hasn't been sold out kind of thing. And I find sometimes that's where I end up getting like DK weights, which I love DK weights, so that doesn't bother me. But it's like, that's how you can end up with a lot of like single skeins that you get them all and you're like, what do I do with all of these? Now I need to buy more yarn to go with this yarn.
Right.
So
I'm relying on all of you. go and purchase the yarn so that I
Go buy all the yarn so we don't have to.
Go buy all the yarn, please. And then show me what you make with it, and I'll live vicariously through you.
Yeah.
I love Tannis fiber.
At the same time, though, it's like I love those speckly colorways. Like
your shawl is.
I have a few stashed. I mean, this is flipping gorgeous. So it's like this is making me really want to cast on one of my next Make 9s, because a lot of that Make 9 is going to be Tannis speckly in DK weight. Well, not a lot. It's like half of it. So I really want to make a gull. I think it's called Gull Foss, like Gullfoss by Stephen West. It's like a vest, like just like an open vest, like cardigan-y style, kind of like a rectangle, but I think you actually knit it center out. So it's like you have like your main color, and then you have like stripes of like 2 contrasting colors kind of going around. So my main color is going to be Tannis Fiber Arts. I have some contrasting colors either by Hedgehog or Plank and Stella that I might use. Depends if I want like super high contrast or a more like muddled, muted, speckly craziness. But what I love about this pattern is like you can wear it right side up, you can wear it upside down, because it's basically just like a big kind of rectangle. You can also, he has it like shown how you can put your head through the armholes and kind of use it like a poncho-y shawl thing. Anyways, I'm like, every time I see the pictures, I'm just like, I want it. Anyways, so this, as soon as I'm done this last Christmas ball, I think I'm going to head down and try to power through this, because I really want this off the needles at least before December 28th, so I can wear it to our family reunion thing. And then as soon as this comes off the needles, I can cast on all the things. Those are really my main whips. I mean, I still have my Molly Weasley socks, but I haven't put anything on them. And then the only other things I want to show are more acquisitions.
Right. Okay. I got 2 whips then.
Okay. Whip it out.
My whips are, all I've been doing was working on socks lately. I just realized that. Yeah. Well, no, that's not true. I did some Christmas balls, which I can't show. Yeah, don't take that out. Okay, so.
Don't take what out? You're going to rip the needle out?
I know, because I have to go back. That's what I was telling you. I think that we were talking last night, right?
Yeah.
And I said, we were texting or something. I said, I'll tell you this story.
Oh, right.
What the heck was I going to tell you though? Because how I ran out of yarn. I technically haven't run out of yarn, because this is the second sock.
Yeah. Right.
And this one still has the navy blue, the Regia navy blue. There's some random tape stuck to it. So I just realized that because the Fleegle heel just takes so much darn yarn, because you're working the whole sock, front and back, which I appreciate that, except that I'm trying to be conservative. So I don't know what's going to happen with this now. And I realized as well, it's just slightly too long for him. I still just haven't nailed the sizing for the Fleegle, because you really are like stopping. I always want to get to the crease, but you have to stop just before you get to the crease to get the right length. That's what I'm finding anyway. Yeah. So, but I successfully did. This is the first proper Fleegle heel. The heel fits him nicely. It's just a touch too long. And I think if I go back, then I've got a little extra yarn to work on this sock. So
is that
and just showing how this patterns, how the patterns croy. What do you, I didn't bring the bag up.
You showed it a couple weeks ago.
Something effects. That's what's called, something effects. I'll show it again when I've got more of the sock done. Yeah. Because I think I'm going to have to do a lot of
the ball. In the ball, it looked very marled / gradient almost.
It's just so cool, because what they did is they're using all solid colors. Nothing's fading or anything like that, but it's just depends on what strand they're twisting together. So they've got sometimes it'll be 2 strands and 1 beige twisted together, or 2 strands of the teal and a black twisted together. So that's how you get, and then they'll switch it up and do 1 black, 1 teal, 1 medium blue striped together, or twisted together.
It's 1 strand is dyed neutrals in blocks, or something. And then the other two are like blues and greens. So then when they twist the 3 plies together, get this like really interesting effect and how the colors kind of like blend together. It's like, yeah, it looked really cool. When I saw
like such a tease, only having like this much of the toe, I'm like, oh, I want.
But when I saw that toe, I was like, it almost reminded me a little bit of like the Pixel Rise socks, like how there was like a chunk of color and then another chunk of color, and then the one almost looks like it's pixely, like fading into the next. Like, you have to look them up.
Okay.
It's a pattern by Kemper Ray of Junk Yarns. And she does like, yeah, I think you've seen them before actually, where it's like you do like a stripe of color, and then as you're blending into the next color, you do like 1 stitch of one color, 1 stitch of the next, and then you go like 2 of the new color, 1, and then, you know, slowly like it, like the colors kind of like pixely break up instead of like a striped fade.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know, just something about that kind of
sort of like that. It does look
but without having to carry 2 colors and do all that color work. It's just how it makes up.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna toss that back in there. And then the only other thing I have is
my socks.
For you, I was gonna start working on socks for my boys, but then I was like, well, I've got 2 balls of yarn, they're 100 grams each. They need to make socks for Jason. Like, that's the whole reason I got them. So I was like, I kind of have to wait till I'm done his sock to see what's left.
Yeah.
As opposed to stealing off the top and end up running into the same problem I'm already having with these socks. So, so I'm going back to your socks, which is great. I'll have them done for sure by New Year's when I see you again.
Hey, just friggin' love that colorway. Like, it's a little bit different than I expected it to be, but it's
glad that you like it.
It reminds me of toothpaste or something. There's something like toothpastey, spearminty about it.
Right.
I don't know. I like it. You don't like it?
No, particularly the brown that comes out right there.
It's beigey, like it's not brown.
Yeah, no, I just don't like it. But I'm glad that you do. Like that's what's important. I would wear them. Like they're socks, right? Like they're comfy, and if they fit well, I'd wear them. But I wouldn't pick it.
Plus, that Regia 6-ply is just it's delicious. It's
so nice on your foot, like in the wintertime. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I gotta figure out where I can get more of that.
And it's like just barely too long for my foot. So I'm like, yes, it's gonna fit you. Finally. And it's like how perfectly the Fleegle, like I don't usually want the interruption, but it actually worked out really well.
Really well, yeah.
It did. So I'm like,
oh darn. Like an intentionally contrast heel.
Yeah.
Just the stripes went on the little wedge.
And I exactly caught up to where I was a month ago when I was doing a short row heel with it and realized, oh, it's actually making those gaps that everyone keeps talking about. So let's try the Fleegle heel instead. And I had to do the Fleegle heel 3 times on this one. So I'm finally where I was before. And now the rest will just fly.
Yeah. I was thinking for Jason's socks, one thing we should look up is how to make a sock ruler. Because you can do it, I mean, you can buy them, but you can do it with cardboard like yourself. So what you do is like when you buy them, it's basically like a long piece of plastic curved at the end, so it'll fit down into the sock.
Yes.
And then it has like measurements along it. And some people, like, you can order them like from people who do like woodworking, so that you can do like got the measurements are like burned into the wood, and then you can write with a pencil like, here's the line I need to stop at for Jason. Here's the line I need to stop at.
Yes.
But if you do it with cardboard, you just...
It'll be like Jason Fleegle, Jason short row.
Exactly. And then you don't have to worry about like getting past that point, trying it on and going, oh, now it's too short, I got to rip it back. You just stick that in the sock. And when you're at that line, you're like, okay, now I'm ready to start whatever my heel is. Or now I could put in like a piece of string and know that that's where I need to come back to put in a short, like a afterthought or whatever.
But I'm realizing it also depends on my tension. Because when I was doing
the measurement at the end will be the same. If you were counting rows.
But it's like how much stretch they might have.
Yeah, but the measurement.
That's what I found with this.
By unstretched measurement. The unstretched measurement on that sock ruler should be the same no matter what. Yeah,
it's just sort of how it feels, because this sock fits, but there's like more like movement with it. So I would have made it a little shorter. It's my exact measurement, but I would have like done a little less before the heel.
Yeah.
So that it just stays in its place a bit more.
Yeah.
That's all I mean. Okay. That's it for me.
Okay.
And all the future plannings, which I won't even go into.
I think maybe before we film the next time, we should have see if we can have our make nines ready, and then we could touch on that, show our pictures, or I'll see if I can try and put them in. The putting in pictures thing, the problem is not that I don't know how to do it, it's that my computer keeps trying to tell me that I don't have enough memory. So it won't let me put in.
Just so weird.
Yeah. It's a pain in the positions, and other than that, looking around, I think I'm done. Okay, so I've been de-stash shopping, which is like bad and good. To me, de-stash shopping is like the equivalent of thrift store shopping. So it's like someone else has purchased it, they thought they would love it, it sat in their stash, or they used it and now they don't need it anymore, or whatever. And then rather than me buying something new, I will take that thing that already exists and I will use it. Yeah. And sometimes you get a deal, and sometimes it's just easier to acquire because they obviously have it sitting there. So like on Ravelry, if you've never actually looked, sometimes it's like, you know, I'll go to a store and I'll look and see if they have whatever I want in stock, and then I'm like, oh, they don't have it. So I go on Ravelry, you find yarn pages, like, you know, a yarn dyer's page. I don't know, I can't think of how else to say that. And usually down at the bottom, it'll show like any colorways that they have listed. And then underneath that, it'll show anybody who's added that yarn to their stash. So in your stash, you can mark your yarns, like you've used it, you haven't used it, it's just stashed, but you can also mark them available for trade or sell. So that's how sometimes I will find things that I'm looking for but can't otherwise find, like that Epiphany colorway. It was like I knew I wanted another Tana's Fiber Arts color, and I was able to get a club colorway that I never would have been able to have because it's at least a year old, if not two, purely because somebody else wasn't going to use it. I'm like, lottery for me. So I've been wanting to try this yarn for a while. I was on their website and like drowning in all the colorways that they have. I should have shown it in a skein, but I caked it last night. So it's called Spin Cycle Yarns.
I like that.
Card. This line is called Dyed in the Wool. It's like a sport weight, heavy fingering-ish, but the actual like brand is...
It's exactly the same like twist that we were just showing at the patents.
Yeah, Spin Cycle Yarns. So I love it. I just think it's so cool. It's so lemony. Mm-hmm. Because it's
not, that's more mustardy. It's showing up more mustardy for me.
It's quite bright in real life.
Okay.
Quite bright. I mean, the outside, because you got the yellow and like a browny gray kind of twisted together, it's dulling it. But when you get into here, it is very bright.
Okay. It just looks like mustard for me, but I know my computer really does mess with the colors, that you're showing.
So it's like, it's kind of, I guess, almost like a self-striping-ish, but I think there'll be like wide sections of color, obviously, depending on how you work it up.
Yeah, it looks like it.
The person I purchased from was selling 2 skeins. They're about 50 grams each. And I was just like, oh, I really want to try this. This is
socks?
The Pussy Willow colorway. No, I'm actually thinking like some kind of cowly thing. Okay. I think I'm going to start with this darker sort of neutral section. So that's what'll be like up near my face. And then they'll have like all the yellow things down at the bottom. I'm just kind of thinking how what I want it to look like. But I started trying to cast on this morning, but I'm not totally sure. I'm going to keep going this teeny little bit. Anyways, it's quite soft. I was kind of surprised about that because it is 100% wool, all grown, dyed, and spun in the US, which I think is kind of cool. So on their website, they do have tons of colorways. It's a little bit overwhelming because they all have that transitioning from one color to the next in them. Some are more dramatic like this, some are a little bit more subtle, but it was still like, how do I know what I want to pick? So I was like, I'll just do like, grab something from someone's de-stash and, give me something to play with. And also on their website, they have a kit for a hat. It's like a surprise kit. So you order the kit, but you don't know exactly what 4 colorways you're going to get. And I was like, oh, so close to like, maybe I'll order that. But I was like, nah, maybe I'll try this first and then see how I feel about the yarn. I keep feeling like this is shifting. Anyway, so I'm excited about that. And my I Heart You Cute Bears bag. mostly because the colors match.
You go to, yeah.
It was like, I was trying to find a bag to put this in, and I almost picked a different bag, and I was like, no, I gotta use this bag because matchy. Hold on. There you go.
Yeah.
Let's do this one. So another D-stash item that came in the mail yesterday. I have been wanting a Chiaogoo set for so long. So over the last like maybe year, I realized I wanted to try different needles because I had previously been mostly using the knit picks.
Sorry, I just realized what it is.
Yeah, I had previously been using the knit picks at Lens Mill, like a local store here. You could buy like the individual needles and cords. So that was kind of the first thing I tried for interchangeables. And then my mother-in-law for Christmas 2 years ago, I think, got me Lens Mill gift cards. So I had bought like there's a set from them. And then, would add in like whatever I needed extras of, because the flaw I find with some sets is like there's certain sizes I probably don't use very often. And then like other sizes where I'm like, I need 7 pairs of 4mm needles because I'll have multiple projects on that size at a time. So I used those for a while. They're okay for me as a starter set of interchangeables. I don't have any major complaints, but I did find that, and I don't know if it's because it's the brand that they're selling at the store versus what you order directly from Knit Picks, the joins were not always so clean, like where the wood comes to, mostly the ones I have are the wood ones. So where the wood joins with the metal, some of them you can feel like a little ridge there. And depending on what I would be knitting, sometimes yarn would actually get caught there. So I have like the rainbow set. So it's like you can, I can kind of catch my fingernail right into that join. I did have one needle where the wood actually came right out of the end. I did have another one where it's like this part that holds the wood is one piece, and then the part that has the threading in it is a separate piece. And I actually had those two separate from each other, which I have never seen anyone complain about that before. I was like, only me. I mean, they're wood, so I did have one or two that actually like the wood snapped, but I don't feel like that's a manufacturing flaw so much as that's just me not being careful with my things / kids jumping on my project bags. Anyway, so for a starter set, these were fine. I don't love wood needles for everything, but these are pretty smooth, so they worked for most things. I did try the Knit Picks nickel plated, I think they are, tips, because sometimes when you shop on Knit Picks at the top, it'll be like, well, you're ordering stuff, so you could try this for half price or whatever. So I did throw in one of those like little try it out packs. I think it was a 5mm, and it was okay, like no major complaints. I found the tips are very round. So for certain things, I like a little bit sharper tip. So then after polling the InstaWorld, I did buy a number of fixed circulars of the Lykke needles. So the driftwood colorway, it's not actual driftwood, contrary to some people's belief. They just call it driftwood. It's just like birch that has like a dark finish on it. I generally really like these. No complaints. Again, same thing. Wood's not my favorite for everything, but I like them quite a bit for socks and certain projects because I kind of have like all sock sizes, smaller sizes. But yeah, so then I started buying the Chiaogoo interchangeables in like individual pieces. So I bought 1 or 2 couplings just for making socks, 2.25s. I think about like 2.25s and 2.75 tips, and then long cords so that I have them for multiple options. Because I thought, I'll try them out before I invest in a set, because each of the sets, they make several different ones depending on sizes and length of tips. The sets are like $130 US. So in Canada, like that makes them kind of expensive when you add in shipping. And there's not a whole lot of people I found around here that were selling them in store, but I mean, in store, there's still usually some markup. So yeah, on Facebook, there's a D-stash group that I'm part of. I don't shop in there very often, but for some reason the alerts pop up on my phone. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, I gotta get in there and see how much it is. $50. And the only thing that is wrong with it, like the case is in perfect condition, all the little accessories that it comes with, the like ends, stopper things, the keys, all that were in there. The only thing that was missing is one set of tips and one cord, which I was like, again, I have a whole bunch of extra bits and bobs that.
Would those fit with the Knit Picks cords?
No.
Oh, okay.
Certain brands are interchangeable. These are not. And I really like these cords better than any other cords. So they have these red cords that are, it's really hard to tell on here, but they're metal, like a metal, kind of like ropey
cable.
Yeah, like it's like a metal cable that's coated in this plastic. So they have no memory. I generally store my cords by winding them up and then feeding them through themselves so they'll kind of hold together and not pop open. Well, you do that with the Knit Picks, and when you unwind it, it's a slinky, which is whatever. That's just how I stored them, and I still do because I didn't really have a better way to store them. But these ones, you take it out and it still be nice and long and straight. So I really like that about them.
So they're worth the original cost, like
they're totally worth the original cost. It was just a matter of like dropping all of that. I mean, probably in the individual pieces I've purchased, because I purchased the ones I knew I was going to use. Because that's the thing with buying a set is like, I don't know how much I'll really end up using the 5 millimeters. It's the smaller sizes that I wanted more. But I also really like the case because they have the sizes all labeled. And
that's such a cool thing, right? And you already have a set. So did you already have the 4 millimeters in the Chiaogoos?
I have, I think, 2 4 millimeters.
Oh, well then you're set.
I didn't have a full set. Oh yeah, so the ones that were missing actually are 3.5. And I don't know for sure if I have 3.5, but I feel like what I kind of said to the lady who was selling it, because she was like, oh, I'm really sorry that, these ones are missing. That's part of why she had reduced the price so much. And I was like, because I've been buying individual pieces, I'm like, if I don't have a 3.5, it's because I haven't needed it in the last year. So I'm not overly concerned about it. And I think I have a 3.5 in the Lykke anyways. So like, the odd time that I'm like, oh, I might need that, then I have something else. I always have something else around that I could use. So I'm slowly moving all my spares that are not in projects into here. So they're all together, and then it's got the little pocket you put your cords in. It also has like a little guide that tells you like what sizes are in the other sets that they make.
Okay.
The other cool thing is, so the tips that I've been buying are their 4-inch tips. Because for certain kinds of projects like socks and things like that, little round projects, I found the 4-inch tips were just a little bit quicker to work with, a little less fighting with like these long tips trying to pull my project. This is a 5-inch tip kit. So it's like kind of nice because I'll have duplicate sizes, but like these will be better for like long flat projects, whereas the 4 millimeter are good for like smaller round projects like hats and cowls and things like that. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with this acquisition.
I'm excited for you because you were like, I just hope they come before New Year's. Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, and
so where did they come from?
Somewhere in the States. I think in Pennsylvania or something like that. I can't remember. And it's hard to know sometimes like how quickly things will travel, especially around the holidays. So yeah, I was quite excited when I went to my mailbox and I was like, it was such a like kind of a weird shaped package, and I like pulled it out. I was like, what the heck is this? And then I saw the name and I was like, yes. I was like trying to figure out how to open it while driving, and I was like, okay, don't do it right now. Well, because it was like I was on my way to yoga when I stopped, so I was like trying to like at red lights like did a lot, and I was like, I can't get into it. I gotta put this down or I'm gonna have an accident. Yeah. Not have an accident, get in an accident.
I didn't get it at first, but now I get it. Yeah.
Anyway, so now Lady will inherit my Knit Picks set.
Okay, I have to be honest though, I was genuinely excited for you that you got your Chiaogoo. It wasn't about me.
I thought it was like it was more that you were like excited and then you realized, oh wait,
I did realize as well, but the genuine excitement was that you got, that's just such a good deal, and that you got them, because I was expecting you'd have a delay because it's Christmas.
Yeah. It was a great deal, and she had already intended to include US shipping for whoever she shipped it to, so she like split the shipping to Canada with me. So it was like even that made it even like a better deal. I was like, my goodness, Merry Christmas to me. So the only thing I'll probably take out, so this is my Knit Picks ones. From Knit Picks, I had ordered this
Oh, yeah.
Yamaka
You can have those.
Studio denim. I think it's supposed to be like a pencil roll, but it worked quite well actually for the interchangeables. You can see I have like multiple sizes jammed into the pockets. And then I usually put the cords down here. So there's a few things that I am going to have to take out of here to keep, like my Tunisian hooks, and then maybe like a cord or two. And I know I have a couple projects that have Knit Picks cords in them that have just been sitting for a while, but otherwise, start our interchangeable set for
Yay! So excited. And for the level of knitting that I do,
starting.
those cords are perfect for me. That's what I have been using.
For like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like I've had this for quite a while and I've used it successfully. I've never, like, it's not major issues. It's just like after a while, I think Sue from the Legacy Fiber Arts podcast was just saying it when she was talking to her daughter about the signature needles that she likes for knitting, like her Cozy Memories blanket. They're like short, straight needles. They're like $38 for a set, which seems crazy, but she's like, they're so ridiculous. Like there's just certain things about that set of needles that are unique. And she's like, you know, from her, she has like an art background, and she's like, from an art background, your tools are important. Your tools are important to you being able to do, I'll move the table. Your tools are important to you being able to do your job effectively. And it's like, at the time that I got these were perfect for the volume that I knit. Now I knit an even higher volume. I have like projects crammed into all sorts of corners and holes and bags. And it's just like, certain things about those have made knitting, like I use these on occasion, especially when I just don't have the size I need in anything else. And they're fine, but they're just not as enjoyable. There's little things that they do or don't do that slow me down.
Yeah.
But they are good for a starter set, absolutely.
Stop, Kate. You're throwing things around. We can hear all those crashes. I know.
Okay. Last one, I think. Yeah, last one.
You know what's funny? Because I keep wanting to ask you, like, do you still? I never see you because I got you a handmade yarn bowl before.
Yeah, it got broken. I told you ages ago.
You what?
It got broken.
Oh, it's totally broken.
Yeah, like this part popped, like it. I think Reese knocked it off the table like 6 or 8 months after you got it, and this part like cracked, like broke right off, like up to here. So it wasn't really like a fixable.
Yeah, it wasn't like the back of it.
And I like tried to use it for a while, but because of, if I'm not mistaken, like it was like because of the size of that, like the yarn thread hole was so big that basically it was like cutting the height of the bowl in half at that spot. So it was like, it was really hard to like even put anything in there without it sort of overflowing. So eventually I was just like, I think I have to get rid of it.
No, what I was going to ask you was not so much like, oh, why aren't you using the gift I gave you? It was more like, if you're using a cake, is it just like not, I was wondering if maybe because you were using balls before, that's why you wanted, so it's not like the balls rolling all over the floor. I didn't know if it was like with a cake, you don't
part of it. Yeah, that is definitely one reason you can use a yarn bowl. I mean, partially it's kind of just pretty to have it out on your table. Anyways, Steve got this for me.
Did he really?
So yesterday, he was so funny. We're both equally terrible. You know how I've been with you about like, oh, I can't wait till New Year's. I got a bag for you. La la la. Yeah, he was doing the exact same thing yesterday to me.
Really?
Yeah. So he comes home from
But it doesn't work for them, right? Mind you, for me, I know I like to open presents on Christmas Day, so I don't want to ruin the surprise. I want the present on. It's your anniversary, but I mean, like I like to have the thing on the day. So I don't want to like spoil whatever you've gotten me, because you have like a moment in your brain. I'm like, I want to wait to that moment to open whatever you got me. Yeah. Anyways, did you like make him give it to you early? Oh, okay.
It was our anniversary yesterday. Our wedding anniversary yesterday.
Oh, wedding anniversary, right? Yeah. Okay.
Which we kind of forgot about until Jamie mentioned it on Sunday when we were on Monday when we were at Dad's house.
Other people remember.
It was like, she says something your anniversary tomorrow, and I was like, it's not our anniversary tomorrow. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, you're insane. And then I was like, oh yeah, it is our anniversary tomorrow.
I know, because I always think
We have
about the
2
anniversary.
anniversaries. That makes it hard.
I always think about when you got together, which was December 22nd, right?
24th. Miles'
Oh,
birthday.
Miles' birthday is 22nd.
There's
Right.
too many things in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
So our wedding anniversary is December 19th, because I was trying to get it as close to our actual anniversary as possible, so it's not like we have to celebrate twice a year. Trying to be practical. So yeah, our wedding anniversary is December 19th. We've been married for 3 years, but our togetherness anniversary is December 24th, and we've been together 13 years. So it feels like, I don't really feel like the urge to celebrate in a big way when it's those in between. Like when we get to 15, then I'll be like, it's 15 years, we should celebrate. But like, and like 10 years is when we got married. So it was like, that was like celebrating that. But 13, I'm like, it's like awkward in between. Anyways. So I can't remember what exactly happened, how the conversation got started, but Steve said something about anniversary gifts. And I was like, we had previously said, we always do this, previously said we weren't going to get each other or anything, but he knows how I am. And like, if I'm out and I see something that I'm like, oh, Steve would actually really like this, I will pick it up for him and then give it to him whenever, either just give it to him or at a specific date. So it was like, when I had gone to Stitch and Kitch, I had gotten him coincidentally, a little wood tie clip, because he has a tie clip and he likes to, he's, I don't know, maturing. So the odd time that he actually dresses up, he likes to have these little like fancy man jewelry, like tie clips and pocket squares and things like that. So, and the tie clip that I got him was actually kind of a similar color, a little bit more red than this, but like a similar color, just like a little wood tie clip. And I think handmade by a local girl. I can't remember, I think her name's Nicole Gagne, maybe. I don't know. I should try and put it on the screen. Anyway, so I was like, I could give it to him for anniversary or I could give it to him for Christmas. Didn't matter to me. But I was like, you know, if we're not doing a gift exchange, then I'll just wait till Christmas. And then he's like, well, I actually got you something. And at first I thought he was like full of it. So it was kind of, we were teasing each other back and forth because like, you didn't get me anything. Like picking up groceries on the way home from work, that doesn't count as an anniversary present. And so he's like, no, I actually got, he's like, oh, your face is going to be red when I give you a gift. Like going on and on and on. I was like, all right, cool it, buddy. Like, I get it. You think you have a surprise for me. Like, we'll see, la, la, la. So whenever went to yoga, came back, put the kids to bed, had to argue with him to get out of bed. Finally, I was just like, it's our anniversary. Get up. Just like, you're driving me nuts. Like, Press, you have a present that you teased me about, and now you're lying in bed. Like, get up. So whatever. He finally gets up. And then he like goes in the basement. You can hear him rummaging around. Comes out with a happy birthday bag. Because he clearly had wrapped it in advance. So we like exchanged gifts. So I was like, oh, that is a nice surprise. And he's like, see, I had a gift for you. He's like, and I remembered a previous conversation. I don't even know how we ended up on this topic a couple weeks ago, talking about yarn bowls and how my one had gotten broken. And I was like, I think maybe Furls Crochet had yarn bowls on sale or something. They're still kind of pricey in American dollars. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to order one. But I was like, look how pretty they are. I was like, I think I'd like to try a wood yarn bowl, because if it gets knocked, I hope it won't get broken as easily as a ceramic one. My kids are too rambunctious and I have just too many things around to know that it will be kept very precious and safe. So yeah, I was like, I'd like to try a wood one. So he was like telling me this story of how he's so proud of himself that he went to one store that I would have been able to tell him right off the top of my head, there's no way they would have had yarn bowls at all. He went to one store, checked it out, they didn't have anything. He called Shall We Knit in Waterloo, they didn't have anything. And then I think he just popped in or he either called ahead or popped into Galt House of Yarn, which is like 5 minutes away from us, new local yarn store, just opened in September, I think. Popped in there and they had these ones. So he was talking to Anne, the shop owner, about how, you know, if his wife comes in, she has to make sure she doesn't tell her like what she got, la la la, like going, you know, whatever, they're chatting back and forth about it. It just also happens to be made by, and I'll put the name in the show notes, Marcus, or I think his shop is Aurelius Woods or something like that. He's a local yarn turner. His wife and I used to go to the same knit night. He's made hand-turned crochet hooks for me. So it's like, it's funny because it's like, I know the shop owner, I know the yarn thing, but he's talking to her like she doesn't know who I am. Because like, obviously at that moment, she didn't know who he was talking about. So it's like, you know, they're going back and forth and he's chatting about like, yeah, make sure you don't tell her that I got this because I got to keep it a surprise, blah, blah, blah. And somehow finally, either she flat out asked him like, what's your wife's name? Or he said it. And she's like, I know Tamu. She's going to be teaching class for me in the new year. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like we go way back and you're talking about it like she has no idea who I am. It's just really funny. He was like proud of himself that he went to all this trouble, like, you know, did the research, got something that I wouldn't have expected. Because like generally speaking, if he surprises me with something, it's like jewelry. And it's like he went to the mall the day of or the day before, ran around to the 3 different jewelry stores in the, you know, closest mall to us, and then picked something or whatever. Picked something based on like something I had said very recently. So it's like a little less of a surprise. So I was like, I'm actually like surprised. You did good. Like you remembered, you went to trouble. You didn't just get it the day before, like you weren't scrambling. Like,
were you a little bit tempted though to be like, where's my Swift?
It was funny because when we were going back and forth before I knew what it was, he was like, oh, you're going to be so surprised. La, 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 la. I was like, did you make my Swift? And he's like, no, but that would have been a good idea. Stephen, like it'd be so easy for you to make. You just have to do it. One of these days I'll get brave and bust out his power tools and make my own wood Swift.
Yes.
The problem is, it's not that I think I can't do it. I just don't use power tools very often.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid of power tools. I just know how I am with all things, and I hurt myself way too easily. And the last time that I really seriously used power tools on a regular basis, I nearly cut the end of my thumb off.
Right.
So, you know, that's like always in the back of my mind that I'm like, I should at least have like some supervision if I'm going to. So I still have a pretty wicked scar on my thumb.
Yeah.
You can kind of see, but like bloop in. That time with the bandsaw shop class.
Yeah.
Mr. Turner did not like me that day. Memories. Anyways. So yeah, I think that's it for me. Look, it's really itchy. It's really dry right there. I guess I have one more thing I could show. There's always more. There's always more. I want to show this because I'm like excited to try it out.
A punch? Yeah, punch needle. Oh, it's funny because I look at the picture before I look at the words. I'm like, it's one of those punch needles. Yes, it says it right there. Punch needle. Cool.
I haven't even opened it yet.
Cool.
Like really excited to try this out.
Yeah.
I'm excited because there are certain crafts, there are certain fiber arts. Sorry, crinkle. There are certain fiber arts that when my Nana passed away, we got a lot of stuff. It's like my family just knows I'm crafty. So if there's craft stuff, and Steve's family too, if there's craft stuff left over from somebody,
yeah,
it always ends up at my house. So, but specifically with the stuff from my Nana, it was like, obviously it's my Nana. So I was like excited to have that stuff. And there were some projects that were partially done in crafts that I feel like have gone by the wayside a little bit. They're not as popular as they might have been at the time that she would have been doing them. And it was really cool to go through a lot of her stuff. Like I really went through like things like, you know, paper by paper and piece by piece to see like, you know, the envelope from where she mail ordered kits and she mail ordered instructions for things and, you know, notes from like a class that she was taking on like rug hooking and punch needle and all these different things. And yeah, it's just cool. It's like looking at the tools. I'm like, I can't quite figure out how this works. So that punch needle is good because it works with a bigger yarn weight. You can use like a bigger yarn weight with it. Compared to, I think Nana had a punch needle in hers, but she was using like thinner than embroidery floss. Like it was quite a light weight, it was beautiful. The pieces that she sort of had like a sampler piece worked up. It was beautiful, but I was just like, oh my goodness, like I can't even wrap my head around how that works. But it's cool if you go on I don't know exactly how it's pronounced, Boku or Boku. It's a BOKHOU. Her shop, she is a textile like fiber artist. So she does a beautiful project bags and notions pouches and purses and totes and all sorts of stuff that are like hand screen printed in her designs. And then she started doing this punch needle work. So there's lots of videos posted of her making, like designing something and then doing this punch needle work on it. And it's like really cool to watch because I feel like watching it, like it reminds me of when I used to do cross stitch. I used to do a little bit of embroidery and stuff like that. So it's reminiscent of that for me, but I love that you can use your yarn scraps. It's another way to use up those yarn scraps, and that it looks pretty forgiving. Like it doesn't look too complicated. So yeah, I'm excited to try that out. Cool. So I ordered the punch needle from her. It comes with a little instruction booklet that I'm excited to try it out, but yeah.
Cool. Sorry, I have one more thing. You just reminded me because you said the really, really thin thread. I have a question. Who knows if anyone actually would watch this whole episode to the end? Like if anyone ever watches the whole hour and a half. But I have a question for people at home. Tama got me this wool. It's going to be socks for Jason. And yesterday I found this spool. Oh, and I can't get it out. The spool of thread inside of it. So I want to ask, what is this for? Is it supposed to be for darning? Like, why is it so thin though? So I need more information because there's nothing on here or inside that says like what it's about.
I'm surprised there's nothing on the label that would say, or on the inside of the label, or even.
That's what I was trying to see if there was. I can't. I could just go on the website and see if I can find it. But if anyone else like has experience with this, like why a sock weight yarn would have. It's so cute though, and how it's wound.
So when you send me the picture, I was like, "That's beautiful. What did you do?" Like I thought you had done that, and then when I realized, and the only reason I think it's darning thread is because I think like some shops, like Shall We Knit, which is where I got that one from, they have like you can buy just those spools in like solid colors, and
that'll be the same color as like a self-striping.
No, that like you can buy just solid colors of it.
Right.
So I'm assuming because it's a self-striping, it comes with a matching one. And I think, and I could be totally wrong, you'd have to Google it or whatever, put it out on the Insta world and people can help you out with it. I think that you are supposed to hold it double when you do like toes and heels.
Okay.
Or something. Like I think you can use
double than the colors.
Repair, but I think you can hold it double. Like you would hold that spool, like the thread from the spool and the sock yarn when you're knitting parts that need more hard wearing quality. But I'm not 100% sure. Like so if you were doing like a heel flap and gusset, when you do the flap, I think you would hold that double, and same with like the toe. So it would be reinforced at those parts that, say, traditionally, if you were like wearing your socks in like work boots, you'd wear through the back of the heel kind of more.
Right. For Steve, you would do the
whole sole of the foot.
The whole.
Yeah.
Well,
those slippers, there's slippers that I've made him. They've been done for what, a week and a half, and already have quite a large hole. And it's cool. So I need to find my leather to repair his slippers.
Yeah.
Before they end up shredded. I mean, I have more wool, so I could definitely, and it's my fault. I should have knit him something in like acrylic or at least a wool nylon blend.
Right.
I wasn't thinking about the fact of how fast 100% wool will wear through on a sock. So tip for anybody who's not an experienced sock or slipper knitter, 100% wool will wear through faster than wool that is enforced by some sort of plastic material.
Right.
Like I don't love using wool with plastic. I'm kind of moving towards more total.
I know, but now I get it. Like I never thought about it either, but why like all these, Regia and this one too is like always got 25% nylon or polyamide or whatever they say.
Yeah. Basically 25% or 20% plastic of some kind.
Yeah. And if you're going to wear socks, yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
How has my sound quality been?
Good.
I keep looking at my blue snowball. We're very aware that like my audio from the beginning has been patchy all the time. It's, trying lots of things. So I finally invested in a good microphone. Yeah. So I'm hoping.
Honestly, I haven't thought about your audio the whole time, so that tells me
probably a good sign.
Because like when you used your cell phone, the audio was fine except for the little like and it was driving me. Editing was a nightmare because I would try to like, if I could isolate those, but it was like if you were talking while it did it, then I was like, well, I have to choose like you talking with the blip or cutting it out and making it like I have to cut out like a bigger section just to get rid of that. So it was like such a pain. And then
my laptop on its own, I sounded like I was in a fishbowl a million miles away in a fishbowl.
Yeah.
Then I bought a $12 microphone. That
Which
was not
fine the first time you used it, and then it was the second time that it seemed
there
like
was little bits.
really, like,
There was a little bit of like
I didn't notice as much the first time.
I noticed it because I was specifically listening for it, and then last week was terrible. But last week I bought myself a blue snowball speaker. Yeah. Anyway, okay. I think that's officially it.
All right.
Yeah. You've talked enough.
I can always talk more.
I know we could always talk more.
I have an endless supply of words, really.
Okay.
If we stop now, I might get a little bit edited before the end of the day.
What did you just say?
I said, but if we stop right now, I might get a little bit edited before.
Yes, so let's stop now because because I'm always like anxious to get now that I'm the one doing like the drop down thing, I'm always like thinking about, okay, I've got the list of like the people's names, I gotta put that on.
Did you make a list of yours?
Pardon?
Did you make a list of yours?
I can.
Okay. You just said you got to get the list of names. That's why I wasn't sure.
When you whenever you send me the picture of everyone that we've talked about, then I'm like anxious to just do my part.
Yeah.
There was one more thing. Oh, happy holidays. I was like, there was something else I was going to say. What was it? Happy holidays to everyone.
Holidays.
Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and educate me on the other things that people celebrate at this time of the year, because I'm like,
whatever you celebrate, or if you don't celebrate and you just get stat holidays to be off and not working, whatever you're doing this winter, or if it's not winter where you are, just enjoy it. Have fun.
Have fun.
Have a good time.
This time of year and every time of year, but
put your feet up, pick your knitting up or your crochet.
Go tobogganing.
Can't take knitting tobogganing.
No, I wasn't saying that. I was just saying go enjoy tobogganing.
You can't. No flipping snow left here.
We got a little bit more last night. Yeah.
Ours is just like there was flurries on the deck this morning, and even that's like gone now pretty much. No,
we shall have a white Christmas in Collingwood. I'm very excited. 5 more sleeps for us at this moment. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to you next week, peeps.
Check you later.
Yarn on.
Thanks for stopping by, San Diego.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Yarn on.
Yarn on, people.